What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today, in the world of indie games, we're checking out one that, I didn't hear anything about this game, in all honesty. Lilith Odyssey. This is a weird one, but it is a good one if you wanted to check out a new early access sandbox open galaxy space exploration game. Don't let the aesthetics of this game fool you. So this game has, really janky 3D and, really janky animations. It's an aesthetic choice by the developers because in this game, you're playing a game inside a game. So you are taking the role, as far as I can tell, you are an alien who's playing a video game. And so it's a representation of what an alien video game would look like, with all the jank and weird animations and everything else. But this game actually has a considerable dollop of depth in it already in early access, and I've really enjoyed my time with it. It does have a bit of a learning curve, but once you realize how everything works, you'll be okay. So now that that's out of the way, what is Lilith Odyssey? Well, this is basically Jalopy in space with your whole family loaded up into a spaceship with you, and you've got to fly them all the way across the galaxy to get to a place called Lilith, which is basically like Utopia because you're on a dying planet. Along the way, you can build bases, you can interact with the natives and the locals, and you can buy and sell and trade. It's got a little bit of that inside of there. You can build buildings to produce stuff that you need. You can mine fuel. Space is represented in full 3D in this game, so you can just fly. That's it. You just look at a system map and you fly where you want to go, and it's actually got kind of a creative method of navigation as well. And so anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy this one. This one really took me by surprise. I judged a book by the cover on this one, and then once I actually started playing it, because I try to give everything a 30-minute shake before I make a call on whether or not it's going to go on the channel, this one stuck with me. And so anyways, let's start a new game. This is our family. We are Dofi Jimbukju, and then we've got our friend Baba, we've got our brother who is named Flick, and we've got our brother Vizistar. You can also basically choose what leader you want over here on the side. I'm not going to do that for right now. You can choose what planet you want to start out on. That'll change what race of alien you are. It doesn't really matter altogether that much. It determines how much money you have as well, which one you start off with. We'll probably just go with Bamunji for right now. These guys are called Spoos. That's the name of the alien race. And so anyways, with our combined wealth, we'll have 33,000 credits that we can play around with. We apparently were an alien wedding planner, and our friend was apparently an alien graphic designer. We don't need the tutorial, because I do know what I'm kind of doing. At least enough to get through the first 30 minutes of the game, if nothing else. And so anyways, if after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, you can absolutely do that. I'll have a link for you down below. The early access is available on Steam. And then on top of that, you'll find links to my Discord, my Twitch stream, and my Twitter, where actually I may very well actually play this game on stream because it's fun. It's enjoyable. So the basic controls, you move around with WASD and your keys right here, and then control and your scroll wheel is going to zoom in or out on the planet. We started out with a couple of items. It looks like we have started out with potatoes. We started out with our Versatool, which allows us to chop down trees and harvest rocks. We've started out with our batteries. We've got an air tank right here in case we need to refill our O2 if we're on a planet that's hostile. We've also got ourselves a Florp canister. I forget what the Florp stands for. It's fecal leached organic paste, I think is what it's called. And Florp is what you use to grow crops once you get to that point in the game for making rations. The UI is very busy in this game, so let me kind of explain what's going on here. Top left, that's going to be our health. This manual right here is your best friend. This is how I learned how to play the entire game. The manual for this game is fantastic. They've got it sorted perfectly. If there's something you need to know how to do in this game, you just click the tab. So if it's something to do with flying, there you go. It'll tell you everything you need to know about flying inside of here. If you want to know about making food, it'll give you everything you need to know about making food inside of here. Fantastic job by the developers on their manual. I didn't need the tutorial. I learned it all by my lonesome, just fiddling around with the manual, and it worked out great, and that's how I prefer to learn. We've got our electricity down here. We have a spacesuit that we can pop on and off with the H key. You can see us putting it on right there. We don't need it right now. You can turn on and off a lamp if you want to make things a little bit brighter. Just be aware about the fact that as you move around, your energy is going to go down, and you're going to need batteries to restore that. Our oxygen we already talked about. This is our family members over here. You can send them out on missions to go gather other resources for you in exchange for rations, which are listed over here. We've got our score, because after all, we're playing an alien video game right now, and so we're trying to score the highest score possible. We've got our money that we've got on hand. You can get more by trading and selling stuff that you harvest. We've got our meals, so these will go down as you feed people and send them out on missions. We have our fuel meter right here. Fuel is actually kind of an interesting part of the game. You've got to mine for it and set up like mining rigs in order to get after it. We've also got our base elements here. We've got nanites, we've got metal, and we've got carbon. Everything in the game is going to be made of some combination of nanites, metal, and carbon. So everything that you're going to fabricate. We've got our technology tree right here. This is our research tree. As we get resources, we can exchange it for technology that unlocks new patterns and new blueprints for what we can 3D print. We've got our print catalog over here with all the items that we can make at the beginning of the game from just basic stuff that we can pull together. It looks like it actually saved my researches from my last game, though, which is actually kind of interesting. I'm going to assume that that's a bug because I unlocked both of those when I was testing the game out for YouTube. So, you know, yay, early access. Either way, we've got free researches available. You've got the galaxy map right now. We are currently in the EZO system. Once we get a ship from the EZO system, we've got to go all the way out, and we've got to get to Lilith, but I don't know exactly where Lilith is. So we'll probably just fly around aimlessly today. That's probably what's on the docket. For right now, the first thing we need to apply ourselves to is we need to go and we need to get some things put together like rations. So I'm going to chop down some trees and whatnot, and I'm going to start getting some baseline stuff just kind of prepared for the journey, and then I will come back once we've got that all nice and gathered. Okay, so I've got some things gathered, and I did want to treat this as kind of like a pseudo-tutorial for people that are trying to get into the game. You right-click on stuff, and then you just tell it to break it down. It'll break it down into constituent elements. Some items do have, like, special effects. So, for example, with dirt, you can rub it on your face, and it'll give you an attack power boost for fighting. If you've got leaves, you can make tea out of it, which increases your defense. If you've got sap, you can chew on it to get speed. And if you've got potatoes, you can eat it to heal your health. Or you can convert potatoes to health because apparently all spacecraft in this universe are run off of space vodka. So just things to think about. We do need a few more little bits and pieces in order to have like enough materials to do what I want to do. We do have like a little, I guess, village over here. So let me break all this stuff down and just show you how it's done. You'll notice that our meters are increasing over there on like the constituent parts we have in order to manufacture things. These crystals right here, as I recall, are pretty good for metal. I'm going to break down pretty much everything except for our food. Now, what we need to do is if we hit the tab key, we can go to our print catalog, and we can make a potato farm. It only costs us like 40 carbons, so it's like really, really cheap. And so we'll make this guy right here, and we're just going to plop down a potato farm on this side by pressing the Y key. These people, hopefully they don't care that I just built a potato farm on their land by the time they realize that we're going to be out of here. Everything in this game is very clearly labeled, which I appreciate tremendously. There is no question what you need in order to like activate a building and make it like interact and produce the resource you want. Like right here, it says put in florp, get out potatoes. Easy peasy. So if we throw the potatoes or the florp in there, it'll start to make some potatoes. In fact, I may think about making some more florp. It only takes us like 15. Yeah, so we'll just top this thing off real fast with some of our carbon. There we go. And that'll give us a bunch of potatoes that we can use to convert into meals so that we can hire people like our family members to go out and get us carbon. And I can send you out to go get me metal. And I can send you out to go get me like some more, I don't know, carbon. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to run around and grab some rocks while we wait for all of our food to come together. And then once we've got our food to come together, we get to do the fun thing, which is buying our spaceship and getting ready to get off planet. All right, so our rations are done. I'll show you exactly how this is done right here. You just right-click on any food stuff, and you just tell it to make it into rations. That's pretty much it. So we got a whole bunch of rations. Everybody succeeded in their mission, but Visistar got wounded while they were on their mission, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Can I tear this down, actually, and bring it with me? Hey, I can. Nice. So I can just keep that in my pocket right there. I assume that it weighs a ton. We need to go to the ship store, and we need to buy ourselves a ship. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I think the ship store is over here. It's the big thing that says sail on it. You can go into each of these houses, and the houses will have people that live inside of them, and they'll look at your inventory, and they'll be like, oh, that's a really nice rock. I'll buy it from you for this amount. Oh, that's a really nice dirt. I'll buy it from you for this amount. I don't know why aliens are so fascinated with buying dirt, but they are. The store that you're looking for if you want to buy a ship is, let's see here. We wanted, oh, I can buy a ship from Dickies. Okay, you can buy a ship from Dickies or you can buy a ship from Blast Express. Everybody else has other stuff going on. They'll sell you like muffins and, you know, like random sundries effectively that you can carry around the galaxy and then sell in other locations. I don't know what any of these do. Oh, it's porn. Okay, gotcha. Apparently there's a porn store here in alien space. We'll go ahead and we'll go and buy a ship. So it looks like we can't really afford a lot of the ships out here, but we can get a Galactopole beamer. Which, like, I've always wanted to own a beamer. That sounds like a good idea. The other option is that we can go with a Star Cruise, which is a cruiser-class ship. The beamer is a fighter class. What else do we have in here? We've got the FUV, okay. We've got the Dame, which is a yacht. We've got the Gerbus right here, which is a tanker. Okay. So, like, there's definitely, like, little options in here of what we can bring with us. I feel like we'll save some of our money because this costs us, like, half our funds. If we need to, like, buy something when we get off world, I just feel like having extra money is a good idea. So there you go. We have a ship. Now that you have a ship, you might be saying to yourself, hey, man, how do I get off the planet? I don't understand how to do, like, any of this stuff. Pretty simple, actually. Pretty simple. You just press the space bar when you're ready to beam up off the planet, and then you can go do whatever the hell it is that you want to do. This game is a true sandbox in that, like, your only goal is to get across the galaxy. That's it. Your only task is to get as far across the galaxy as possible before everybody dies. And so, like, if you enjoy Jalopy or whatever, I feel like this game has much of the same appeal, where it's all about just being on a space road trip and, like, dealing with the crises and supplying yourself with the resources you need along the way. Our fuel is not topped off right now, which is kind of a bummer. I wish our fuel was topped off. Looking around, the rocks that supply you with fuel, they're kind of like pointy and they have like a pink thing on top, but it looks like there may not be that many out here. I'm going to do a quick revolution real fast and just see if I can find any fuel rocks. If I can find a fuel rock, we're going to leech off of it for a second and we'll just kind of figure out if that's what we want to do. Actually, there's one right there. I didn't need to make a cut. I figured I was going to spend like 10 minutes running around the planet trying to find this fuel rock, but I guess I was wrong. All right. So now that we found a fuel rock, what we need to do is we need to go to our printing catalog, and we need to make a protium fuel well. And so we'll make that right there. The protium fuel well is all ready to go. I'm going to print it up right here. The little meter above the protium fuel well is how efficient it is. So you want it to be as close to the fuel rock as possible. And then for the well, what we're going to need is we need to print up some batteries. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So I'll probably print like... yeah, like 10 of them. That sounds good. We need a little bit more metal, but it'll be fine. And so with our fuel, we're going to put some of the batteries inside of there. And what you'll see is it siphons off really quickly because we put it in really close proximity to the fuel rock, and it'll siphon off this protium right here. And we can choose whether or not we just want to unload the protium right now into our fuel tanks, or if we want to hold on to it for later, basically. I'm going to take those two batteries out, and I'm just going to add some fuel to my battery pack real fast. You don't heal or regenerate if you don't have electricity inside of your inventory, so just a thing to keep in mind. We've got a bunch of fuel. I'm going to say let's go ahead and we'll just kind of like top off, I guess. All right, so we're all nice and topped off. I do want my fuel well back, so I'm going to take my fuel well with me, and then I think it's time for us to go. Yeah. So welcome to space. This is what it looks like. We are now in the Bamunu system. If you hold down the middle mouse click, you can kind of like revolve around and you can take a look. As you can see, it's very lively. There's satellites flying around. You'll occasionally see other ships and stuff flying around. Navigation in this game, it takes some getting used to, but basically inside the UI right here, every ship comes equipped with solar sails. So if you're in a system that's around a star, you can just hit Z and it'll open up your solar sails and you'll cruise and you won't lose any of your fuel and you can just go where you want to go. If you're in an area that has very, very low solar light or solar radiation, you're going to have to use the engines, and that's where you pop on like W and it'll fire up the engines right here. Be forewarned, there is a speed limit in certain areas, so planets will announce their speed limit when you're near them, and you'll have like a certain amount of time to adjust your course and adjust your speed, otherwise the space cops will come and get you. The game does have radio, so there you go. You can turn on radio in your ship if you want to, if you just want to kind of cruise. There's a couple different radio stations. I didn't know which ones were going to be like ad-free and which ones were going to get claimed by the YouTube bots. And so like I assume that ad-free is the one that doesn't get you in trouble, or maybe it just plays the music. I'm not super sure. But there you go. That right there is the radio stations that are available. I'm going to pop it off just because I don't know if I'm going to get copyright claimed or not, but just something to think about. Let's go ahead and press the Z key. That's going to open up our solar sails, and as you can see, we're picking up cruise speed right here. If I remember, C is astronomical units? Actually, no, I think C was in Elite Dangerous, and it's like 1/10 the speed of light, I think, that we're traveling right now. So, like, I think, is it 100th? I think maybe it's 100th of the speed of light. But as you can see, we're getting further away from the planet. We are actually moving right now. So really a smart idea at the moment. Oh, we are using fuel. I thought the solar sail did not cost you any fuel. We need to plot a course. We need to find a planet that looks rad. And so we are over here in Bamunu. I would suggest that maybe we go over to Ezo, so we can track that right there, and it's going to add it to our nav ball. And so let's take a look and see if we can find it. If you want to steer the ship, you click on this right here, and you click and drag it to go in the direction that you want to go to. Our target is like right there. So what we need to do is open up the solar sail, and we're going to grab that real fast, and we're going to edit our course to go right over here, and it's 14 light years away, so this is going to be a little bit of a trip. One thing that's kind of a little bit of a downer, I guess, one thing I do think that they should probably add is the ability to speed up time while you're flying into like long distance locations like this right here. I feel like that'd be like a really, really solid choice in order to kind of, as it may exist, in all honesty, that may be a feature that actively exists, I don't know, but from where I'm sitting right now, I don't know if I have the ability to speed up time. That's one of those things that I wasn't able to fully like verify while I was testing out the game prior to recording this video, but that would be a good thing to add for a single player game, just so you can get to places a little bit faster. Then again, that might kind of like ruin the ambience of the game too, which is largely just kind of hanging out in space and doing your own thing. I think it'd actually be a cool idea to check out one of these little planets over here, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's see if we can just kind of like even up the ship real fast. There we go. I need my camera to be in a good spot. And we'll go to right there. Perfect. I don't know what that place is. Am I inside the Ezo system right now? Yeah, give me a system map. Like, what am I looking at here? So that one doesn't have an orbiting moon. And so I think it's got to be that one maybe? Majula? Is that Majula? That is not Majula. Majula is that one right there. Okay, well, let's try for Majula then. We'll click on our little guy over here, and oh my god, my camera, it's borked. Okay, so we'll put that right there. Perfect. And as we pull up to this thing, we're going to want to, like, make sure that we slow down a little bit because it's going to have a speed limit around the planet. We'll probably use this as an opportunity to maybe gather some more food, maybe gather up some more fuel and just kind of truck it. We are going in the wrong direction here, so if you take a look, we're getting farther away from Lilith. And so I think we actually kind of want to go, let's close this down. It seems to me like Lilith is more than likely over here somewhere. I don't know exactly where Lilith is. I don't know if it's marked, in all honesty, like our destination. Huh. Either way, we're probably getting pretty close to the planet, so we should probably, like, close down the menus before we crash into the side of this thing. I'm going to go ahead and pop off the solar sails real fast. We're going to slow down the ship. And if we pull up close enough, slow enough, we should get pulled into the orbit, and we should be able to just beam down. There we go. We got to get that red part on top of the green part before we can beam. And so there you go. We're available to go to Majula and beam down. Let's do it. We're exploring our first planet. All right, so on Majula, it looks like everything is taking kind of a purple tone. Everything's got kind of like a royal purple thing going on. I would, I think, like to make a potato farm. So we will materialize that right there. I need to manufacture some florp to get our food back up. So that's easy enough. Like, florp is not hard to make. We'll go ahead and print off, let's say, 10 florps. And then we will go to the farm, and we'll put that in right there. And while we wait, it'll just kind of do its own thing. Now, we can't attack with our right click, just in case. I don't know if these critters are hostile or not. There you go. I've murdered a thing. And it looks like I can collect his leftovers. What did I get? I got some poo. I got a little bit of flesh. And it looks like I got some pelts. That might be something that someone's interested in buying. I don't, in all honesty, know. But they didn't seem to be that hostile, so apparently I just murdered like a tiny little creature for no reason whatsoever. Looking around, I have no idea what this thing is over here, but it's like flagged. It's got like a circle around it. What is it? Go ahead and mine that real quick, too. An ancient megalith that was built by the Spoo. Oh, it added to our score. Nice. So apparently we're getting graded higher because we did a thing. The Nacho War debris. Spoo fought and died over these historical sites. Apparently there was a war in space over the acquisition of nachos. I respect it because nachos are hella good, dude. Like, I'm a big fan of nachos. Like, I pile them high. I get everything on there that I possibly can. I think nachos are just absolutely fantastic. We'll put that right there so that we're now farming up a little bit of fuel. I don't know if I have any batteries on me. I do have batteries on me. Okay. Yeah, let's pick up a little bit more fuel while we're here. Why not? I mean, if you got time to harvest, I got time to take on that fuel. Take on fuel. There's some more Nacho War debris over here, too. Does all of it count, or if I've seen the same one twice? Okay, so it's each model. You can inspect each model one time to get, like, a point score bonus while you're, like, chilling out here. Apparently there's debris right there as well. We're sightseeing. Nothing says fun vacation like going to the locations of ancient Xeno bloodbaths. What is this over here? That looks like some kind of big old cannon. What is that thing? I mean, it's worth points, if nothing else. If you want these little points listings to go away, all you got to do is click on them, and it'll tell you, like, what you found, basically. So just keep that in mind. You can actually, like, learn about all these animals and creatures and stuff that are all over the various planets. But as of right now, like, there's not, like, a huge amount of content to the game, but, like, I really, really like this idea for a game. Like, I think it's a really, really good idea. Like, if this is kind of like their earliest, like, prototype type deal, and they're going to be adding more content to it, and, like, more activities as time goes along, I'll be honest, I'm kind of hooked already. Like, I play a lot of roguelikes and a lot of things like that, so, like, I don't particularly care about the graphic fidelity, and in this case, it was very much kind of like a... It was very much a design choice. I actually just don't want that in my hands. I need to turn some of this stuff into resources. So I'll break that down, I'll break that down, we'll break that down. Probably break down the poo. I feel like it's somewhat unlikely that we're going to find anyone in the galaxy that wants to buy our turds. But... you know, space can be an odd, weird, sort of disorienting place. So it's entirely plausible that at some point someone will want to buy the dookies off of us. It looks like right now that there's not really any settlements on this planet. I assume that life was ended here by the Nacho War. That would be me extrapolating from all the ruins and whatnot that we're seeing. Apparently it got bloody and, like, targeted civilian locations. But it's been a good place to prop up our score, that's no lie. Okay, well, we've refilled our meals, and I can refuel our ship real fast, but I think it's time for us to get out of here. I do like the pacing of this game, how it's kind of just like a leisurely relaxation cruise around the galaxy. There is apparently, like, space fighting or something, because I've seen weapons that you can equip on your ships. Like, you can also scan for other ships with, like, buttons and whatnot. I don't see any other ships right now, but... seems okay. Let's pick out a new location. Where do we want to go to? So we're kind of like over here. I think it'd be a really good idea, and it looks like there's kind of like cool stuff at all these locations too. Let's maybe think about going to... let's go to Guyapi, I guess. Yeah, we'll try Guyapi, and we'll just kind of head off in that direction. I need to turn on my solar sails, and then I also need to divert us away from the planet so that we don't crash and die horribly. That would be also a very, very smart thing to do. If you're wondering how the navigation ball works, your goal, if you want your heading to be true, is that you want the ball to sit perfectly inside the perpendicularity there on the nav ball. I don't know how many people, like, I was a geologist, so, like, I've been introduced to all kinds of compasses and all kinds of, like, mapping tools and things like that. But when you're using a three-dimensional nav ball, you want it to sit inside these little, basically inside the notch. And, like, if you've got it inside the notch, your course is true. Alright, so we have arrived in the Guyapi system. We've arrived. I turned on the afterburners and they actually move quite a bit fast. Like, use a lot more fuel, but the solar sails are not ideal for getting around long distances. And so here we are. I want to go to that little planet over there. Let's see if we can find these paired planets right here in Guyapi. There they are. And so let's go to the planet Pino. Why not? Let's go see what the planet Pino has to offer us. That was the one that I was going for over there on the left. So we'll adjust our heading real fast. And we will go right there. All right, perfect. Kick on the solar sails for just a little bit of that slow cruising speed because I don't want to crash into the side of the planet. When your family's in the back of the car, generally not recommended that you turn them into a space-bound paste. We do have to worry about space madness. This game does have like some adult content in here. Space madness will increase various attributes of your character that are over here. And make things happen effectively. You get like a full readout on your characters if you want. I told him to work out once a week, so hopefully he'll like lose some weight or something. Oh, I'm gaining weight right now. We're spending too much time hanging out in the car. We have been flying for like 2 or 3 days, so at least of in-game time. All right, so coming up on Pino now. I'm gonna kill the solar sails right there and we'll just inch it in. And then we'll find out what this place has waiting for us. Our distance is still too far, so I'm going to have to turn on a little bit of engine burn just to get us close enough to beam. Not too much engine burn, though. There are little details, if you take a look at the spaceship, that I really like. Like, you can see our family sitting in the car with us right there. You can, like, if you turn the engines up or down, like, the flames come up and they get like larger. There's also the ability, you can take a look at your ship parts right here. So apparently it's intended that at some point we're going to be swapping out all of our ship modules. We have a hide-a-fam cloaking module just in case we need to hide. Our ship is full of junk, a high response ship stabilizer. I would like a little bit more explanation as to like what the hell some of this stuff does. It looks like we also have a SPU Harmony space signaling technology system. I haven't really run into any other ships, so I haven't really had to like interact with them. It looks like we don't particularly... Yeah, it doesn't look like we particularly have any weapons or anything else on here. So I think we're mostly in the running and hiding business would be my guess. I'm going to teleport down because we need fuel. We got to top off, and then we also should probably make some food and get that ready for the journey ahead. But yeah, this is actually kind of a cool game. Like Lilith Odyssey, like don't judge this one by its cover. Don't judge it by the cover, I promise. Like, this is one of those games where, like, the presentational aspects, they don't look impressive, but once you get in and start playing, like, there's a lot of room for this game to grow into its early access, and there's, like, a lot of space for this game to kind of, like, fill out with things to do. And honestly, like, in my testing periods, I sort of, like, doubt that I've seen even, like, the toenail of all the content inside of here. I think it's a pretty cool idea. It's like Jalopy, but with, like, way, way, way more stuff. Apparently, everybody died on this planet. That's what I'm learning right now, is it looks like everyone is just, like, dead as hell. I have oxygen canisters and whatnot. I would like to get some more food farmed up. But yeah, I think we're kind of like, I don't know, dude. With all the long-term edits that I had in this, like, I've been playing now for about, like, I've been playing for a while. So, like, my recording timer says that it's a long time, but I've got a feeling we're going to be editing out a lot of the travel time. And so, in all honesty, I don't know exactly where we are in the timeline. If the video is a little bit short, I apologize. If the video is a little bit long, I apologize. If it's too short, I'll go back and record some more. But my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had Lilith Odyssey, which is an open-world space road trip, space exploration, shipbuilding, family cordoning, crop growing, civilization trading. It's got so many moving parts, dude. I'm really excited to see where this goes when they flesh it all out, and really just how much fun there is to be had in this game when they get to, like, the final version. I will see you all later. Thank you for stopping on in. I'll be back tomorrow with something hot and fresh off the indie skillet, but for now, that's all that I've got for you. Bye-bye, everybody.